How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So before we get into today's video, I just want to say a massive thanks because we've actually hit YouTube partner and it's all because of yous guys. I did put up a little community post earlier on, but I just want to say a massive thanks. Yous lot are too kind. We will get something planned, maybe a live stream where we have a little community and get together, run some games together, some nightfalls, whatever you like, maybe a little emblem giveaway, something like that, but I will decide in the near future. But let's get on with today's video. So for those that are familiar with my content, you'll know that I run this build quite a lot, especially in the harder lost sectors, but not just the lost sectors. I can run this in GMs, in the raid, or any other hard endgame content, weekly mission, solo. This really comes in handy. And the reason why I absolutely love this build is not because it's insane or it's broken. It's because it's simple and effective and it's really accessible to most of the player base, and you don't even need your gear to be masterworked. So let's get cracking. As with all build videos, we're going to start with a subclass first. So you've got Silk Strike with super ability. This is really versatile. Left click on your mouse, you just keep swinging that rope dart, and that can take the enemy's health down pretty quick, especially bosses, really good in lost sectors. And then you press right click and that will swing the rope dart. So if you've got a lot of enemies surrounding you, like in the lost sector from yesterday on Neonuma, that would come in really handy. You do one big swing and that's the enemies cleared. Then we're going to move on to the abilities itself. I'm running Gambler's Dodge because I just like to have that extra dodge to get me out of the way quicker of enemies. I'm not too bothered about the reload inside. And if you dodge near enemies, it fully recharges our melee ability. And in terms of melee ability, we have Threaded Spike. This is really good because when you throw the rope dart, it does bounce between targets and it does sever them. And what severing does is the target's connections to the world around them are cut and their outgoing damage is significantly reduced, and severed targets unwind into a tangle when defeated. And tangles are another useful tool that spawns off the back of that because it's extra damage. And in terms of grenade, we have the Shackle Grenade, which is what our build is built around. So throwing a Shackle Grenade, it suspends the target and it also creates additional suspending sub-projectiles. So this grenade itself will get you out of so much trouble. And against champions, it is king. It's undefeated. It's what you want. Barrier, unstop, overload, stick a Shackle Grenade on them. You are good to go. And with the aspects that we're going to look at now, it makes this even more better. Widow Silk, you have an additional grenade charge. What's there not to love about that? And then Ensnaring Slam, if you do happen to run out of your 2 suspend grenades, what you're going to do is you're going to jump up in the air, you're going to activate it by pressing X, and you're going to dive down, and when you slam on the ground, it's going to suspend enemies. So you theoretically got 3 suspend grenades here with this build. Again, it's a basic build. You don't need to proc anything with this either. Then underneath them, we're going to look at our fragments. First one up is Thread of Continuity. Suspend, Unravel, and Sever effects applied to targets have increased duration. You also get plus 10 strength with that as well. Then we got the best one of them all, Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates grenade energy. So we've just suspended a champion and we know how difficult they are in lost sectors. It's going to take you a while to get it down. You are going to get your grenade recharged fully, if not about 90%. And then when you've defeated them, because you're mainly using this for solo play, by the time you've hit a few more enemies, you're going to have your grenade back. But the beauty of this is, where you are doing solo play, it is only you actually dealing damage to enemies, so you will more than likely never run out of any suspend at any given time, pure and simply because you have Ensnaring Slam as well. So if you do run out of 2 grenades because you've needed to proc 2 for whatever reason, you've panicked a little bit, you can jump up, do Ensnaring Slam, tap a few more enemies, and you will have your Shackle Grenades ready to go. Then we've got Thread of Isolation. Landing rapid precision hits emits a severing burst from the target. So if you've got enemies suspended and you're landing rapid precision hits, that is going to emit the severing burst come from them. And because you are severing them, you're then going to get a tangle when defeated as well. So that goes back to what we just said at the beginning of the video. This is a really, really good fragment. And then we've got Thread of Propagation. Powered melee final blows grant your strand weapons unraveling rounds. Now I've kept this on because sometimes I like to run with Circular Logic, which is the brand new Strand SMG. And if you wanted to put Quicksilver Storm on, for instance, when that gets put back up to what it's meant to be doing, because it's not doing the required damage right now, this will be really good to have with that, because that will do some really good damage. So I've kept that on because I do like to swap it around sometimes, because it can get a bit boring and stale just using the same old weapons. And in terms of our weapons, of course, we have Osteo Striga. Now, this is an absolute beast. If you do have Witch Queen and you haven't got this, I don't know why. And that is because of one screaming swarm fires a stream of sentient toxic projectiles that track the targeted enemy. And then we have Toxic Overload. Landing a final blow or multiple precision hits triggers a burst that poisons nearby targets. And then the Osteo catalyst, which comes on top of the Toxic Overload, is poison final blows return ammo to the magazine. So you can end up with over 100 rounds in the mag. And this weapon makes using Suspend so much fun. But this weapon is an absolute beast. So please, if you don't have it, do get it. And if you don't have the catalyst, get that. It is a bit of a grind, but it's totally worth it. And then we're going to Doom of Chelchis. This is the scout rifle from the Kingsfall raid. Now, before you shout at me saying, Higgs, this is from a raid, do not worry. Vouchsafe is just as much a viable scout rifle, and it's void. It's a really great weapon. This, you can get this over on the Dreaming City, and I believe you can do this by farming the blind well. Doom of Chelchis for me, pure and simply because I love Firefly, and it's such a great perk. Frenzy is really good as well, because being in combat for an extended time increases the damage, and as a solo player, you're always in combat, so I don't know what there isn't to love about that perk. Really do like it. And then, of course, I've got my trusty old Retrofit Escapade, which was from last season, so as I always say, keep an eye out for Banshee or Zer. I don't know if he's selling it this weekend, but again, I love this target lock of 4 times the charm. It absolutely melts enemies now, especially higher enemies, and with the buff to machine guns. And then when we come over to the right hand side, we have our Assassin's Cowl. Now, powered melee kills and finishers grant invisibility and healing. Now, them last 3 words there, invisibility and healing, are the reason why I've got this on. It's good to have invisibility and a bit of healing because you can take a step back and then you can go again, recompose yourself. And I'm just going to go over to the mod customization screen now. I've obviously got my resilience mod, and then I've got kinetic siphon and void siphon because that is rapid final blows, create an orb of power. And then we've got heavy ammo finder, so we increase the drop chance of heavy ammo on kill. Discipline forged armor here, that is artifice armor here, so disregard that one. If you have impact induction, so causing damage with a melee attack reduces your grenade cooldown. Then I've got font of focus, you gain a bonus to discipline while you have an armor charge, so even more grenade energy coming our way than impact induction again. So I've just got 2 of them because that will increase the effects of that. And then on my chest piece, I've got charged up because I just like these perks. Increases the maximum number of stacks you can have, why wouldn't you? And then font of endurance, you gain a bonus to resilience while you have an armor charge, just to make you that little bit more juiced up. There's nothing wrong with that. And then in this category here, you just stick in whatever you want. If you're running something where there's a lot of snipers, sniper resist. If you're running something where you're dealing with a Hydra or Cyclops constantly spamming you, stick concussive dampener on. And then we're going to go down to boots. I'm running double kinetic weapon surge because every time I have an armor charge, my kinetic weapons gains a small bonus to damage. Makes Osteo even more beefier. So double up on these because multiple copies of this mod can be stacked to increase its effectiveness. And then recuperation replenishes health each time you pick up an orb of power. Why wouldn't you want this on? It gives you your health back. And then when we go to our cloak, you're going to want Reaper. After using your class ability, your next weapon final blow spawns an orb of power. That gives you your armor charge and then relays into everything we've just seen there. Then time dilation just makes our armor charges last that little bit longer. I absolutely love this perk. And then I've got Bomber, reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. So again, it's all built around survivability and your grenades. And then we got our artifact mods. First up, I've got anti-barrier pulse rifle, then unstoppable scout and overload or OSMG. And in second column, I've got authorized mods, which are strand and void. Now what they do is they make the cost of your mods go down from 3 to 1. And then I've got multi-siphon mods, so the effects of the strand siphon mod with the solar siphon and void siphon mods, so this just combines them all together. Then I've got Untangler, destroying a tangle with strand weapons, suspends targets damaged by explosions. And then volatile flow, if you're running a void weapon, please use this. Picking up an orb of power grants your void weapons volatile flow. Then we've got Bricks from Beyond, defeating a powerful combatant with a void weapon has a chance to generate heavy ammo for you and your teammates. Now this artifact mod, combined with the heavy ammo finder, you will never run out, trust me. So pick this on. If you run in a void weapon, you'll be good to go. Alloyed unraveling, rapid final blows with a strand weapon grant your weapons unraveling rounds with a longer duration in allies. Then I've got threaded blast, destroying a tangle with a strand weapon creates a larger and more damaging explosion. And then void weapon channeling, you gain a temporary bonus to void weapon damage after you defeat a target with a void weapon while at least one of your void abilities is fully charged. And that is the end of the video. I've had the gameplay playing in the background of everything that we've been talking about, just so I don't go through everything so you're looking at a screen and then do the gameplay after. This is something I thought I'd try, as it's one of my first videos doing this. If you'd like me to do it different, like the other way around, just showing the screens first and then gameplay after, I don't mind trying that one out. Just let me know, guys. But if you have enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel out massively. And if you've got this far and you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.